You won't believe what happened when my brother and I decided to spend a quiet weekend at our family lake cabin. We thought it would be the perfect escape, just the two of us. Nature all around, no distractions. But things took a wild turn, almost immediately. See, the neighborhood we're in has this strict HOA, and there's one person everyone kind of dreads. Karen, you know the type. The one who watches every move you make, ready to complain about the smallest thing. Well, this Karen took things way too far. The moment she spotted us hanging out by the cabin, she didn't just roll her eyes or send a passive-aggressive note. Nope. She went straight to calling 911. She said she saw something suspicious me. And my brother, just relaxing, mind you, and claimed it looked like we were trespassing or worse. At first, I thought it was a joke, like maybe she wanted to stir up drama. But the police actually showed up, and before we knew it, a full SWAT team was at our door. Yeah, you heard that right, the SWAT team? I still can't figure out how a simple weekend trip turned into a major emergency. What did Karen really think she was doing? And why did the situation escalate so fast? There's more to this story than just a nosy neighbor. There's tension, confusion, and maybe even something bigger lurking beneath the surface. I'm going to take you through everything that happened from the moment she called to what the SWAT team found when they arrived. But trust me, this isn't just about a crazy HOA Karen. It's about how things spiraled out of control in ways we never expected. Stick around, because this story is far from over. You won't want to miss what happened next. After the SWAT team arrived, things got even more intense. My brother and I were standing there, still trying to process how a quiet weekend turned into what felt like a raid. We explained to the officers that we owned the cabin, had all the paperwork, and were just trying to enjoy some time away from the city. But no matter how much we said, the situation didn't calm down right away. The officers had to be careful after all. They were responding to a 911 call claiming suspicious activity. We could see the confusion on their faces, and honestly, it made us wonder what Karen had really told them to understand why this happened. Have to know a little about the neighborhood. It's one of those tightly controlled lake communities, where every inch of property has rules and regulations. The HOA prides itself on keeping things perfect, and Karen seems to be the unofficial watchdog. People often say she looks for any excuse to complain or escalate something small, but this time, she went way beyond what anyone expected. It wasn't just a noise complaint or a parking issue. She called 911, claiming we were trespassing or possibly doing something dangerous. That's what confused me the most. We're legal owners, yet she made it sound like we were criminals. My brother and I couldn't stop thinking about what really motivated her. Was it just paranoia? Or did she have some reason to believe we were a threat? The whole community was buzzing with whispers about Karen's behavior. And some neighbors even hinted that she's had run-ins with others before. But nobody had ever seen things escalate like this. The tension was thick, and as we waited for the officers to sort everything out, a part of me wondered if there was something else going on behind the scenes, something Karen wasn't telling anyone. This wasn't just about a nosy neighbor anymore. Something bigger was unfolding, and we were right in the middle of it as the officers continued to question us. I couldn't help but notice how Karen watched from a distance, her expression sharp and almost satisfied. It was clear she wanted this confrontation, like she was waiting for a chance to prove us wrong or cause trouble. But what exactly was she so afraid of? My brother and I started talking to some of the neighbors, hoping to understand if this was just Karen being difficult or if there was more beneath the surface. Some neighbors told stories about Karen's history of making complaints about noise, landscaping, even minor parking issues, but nothing that ever got this extreme. Others whispered that she had personal grudges with certain families in the neighborhood, though no one wanted to say it outright. It made me wonder, was this about us specifically? Or was Karen's call a way to send a message, a power play within the HOA? Meanwhile, the SWAT team stayed on site, and the atmosphere felt like a powder keg ready to explode. My brother kept glancing nervously at the officers while I tried to stay calm, but inside, questions kept piling up. Why did the call escalate so fast? What exactly had Karen reported to 911? Was it really suspicion of a crime or something else entirely? The silence between us and the team felt heavy, like everyone was waiting for someone to make the next move. Then, there was the added layer of the HOA board. After the incident, rumors spread that Karen had been pushing for more control and stricter rules in the community. Some thought this call was part of her plan to intimidate residents who didn't agree with her. Others believed there might be a deeper conflict involving property disputes or hidden agendas. My brother and I found ourselves caught in the middle of something bigger than just a neighborly complaint. Every moment felt charged with uncertainty. The peaceful lake cabin weekend we dreamed of was now tangled in tension, suspicion, and questions we had no answers for yet. And the real question lingered: what would happen when the SWAT team finally made their decision? The tension around the cabin was almost unbearable as the SWAT team moved cautiously closer, their presence turning our quiet retreat into a scene straight out of a movie. My brother and I exchanged worried looks, knowing that one wrong move could make everything worse. Karen stood a little ways off, her arms crossed, watching with that unsettling mix of satisfaction and suspicion. It felt like she was waiting for this moment to prove she was right all along. The officers asked us to stay put while they carefully searched the property, their eyes scanning every corner, every shadow. It wasn't just about verifying who we were anymore. It felt like they were hunting for something that might justify the dramatic response. I kept thinking about Karen's 911 call, wondering what exactly she had said to make this happen. Had she truly believed we were a threat, or was this some kind of personal vendetta? At the same time, whispers among the neighbors grew louder. Some had already taken sides, and the community seemed to be split. A few people came by to check on us, offering support, while others watched from a distance, their eyes filled with suspicion or maybe even relief that the drama had finally erupted. The HOA board had remained silent so far, but I had a feeling this incident was going to shake up the entire neighborhood. My heart pounded as the lead officer approached us, motioning for quiet. The team was about to reveal what they had found or maybe what they hadn't found. Everything felt like it was hanging by a thread. Would this all blow over, or was this just the beginning of something much bigger? The line between neighborly dispute and serious conflict was blurring fast, and we were stuck right in the middle of it. As the SWAT commander prepared to speak, the air was thick with anticipation. Whatever happened next would change everything. None of us were ready for the truth that was about to come out, just when we thought the situation couldn't get any more intense. The SWAT commander's voice cut through the heavy silence with something no one expected. He explained that during their search, they had discovered evidence of someone else on the property, not us, but a stranger's footprints leading deep into the woods behind the cabin. Suddenly, the story shifted from a simple HOA dispute to something far more mysterious and alarming. The officers weren't just here because of a neighbor's call. They were investigating a possible security threat. My brother and I exchanged stunned glances. Who could have been there? We hadn't seen or heard anyone else during our stay. Had Karen's call been more than just about us? Was there something she knew and hadn't shared? The realization hit us that maybe her suspicious behavior wasn't just nosiness. It could be tied to something bigger that none of us understood yet. As the officers followed the trail, the tension escalated. We learned that other neighbors had reported strange noises and unexplained lights near the woods over the past few weeks. But no one had taken it seriously except Karen. Suddenly, her obsession with the neighborhood's safety seemed less like just controlling behavior, and more like a desperate warning no one wanted to hear. The HOA's silence now felt even stranger. Had they been hiding something? Or were they ignoring real dangers to protect their reputation? The lines between community rules, personal grudges, and possible threats blurred even more. My brother and I felt trapped between a paranoid neighbor's accusations and a mysterious presence lurking just beyond the trees, with the SWAT team gearing up to search deeper. The weekend that was supposed to be peaceful turned into a gripping mystery filled with fear and uncertainty. What exactly was out there, and how was Karen connected to it? We were about to find out, but what we uncovered next would shake everything we thought we knew. You won't believe what happened the day I was quietly working in my cabin office. I thought it was going to be just another normal afternoon, just me, my plans, and a little peace and quiet. But then, out of nowhere, HOA Karen stormed in like a thundercloud ready to blow everything apart. If you've ever dealt with an HOA or someone who takes their rules a little too seriously, you know exactly the kind of drama I'm talking about. But this time, it wasn't just a simple complaint or a warning notice. No, this was something way bigger, and honestly, it caught me completely off guard. What made this whole situation even crazier is what I was working on inside that cabin. I wasn't just messing around or doing something small, I was planning something serious with a 4-star general. Yeah, you heard that right. A high-ranking military official, someone with years of experience and major responsibility. We were plotting out ideas that could change everything, but it all had to stay under wraps. So imagine my shock when HOA Karen just bursts in and freezes, literally. Like she couldn't believe what she was seeing. This wasn't just a clash over lawn decorations or parking spaces. This was a collision of worlds, a strange mix of everyday neighborhood rules and high-level strategy. And from the look on Karen's face, I knew this was just the start of something much bigger. There was tension in the air, and it felt like the calm before a storm. I'm about to take you through exactly what went down that day, step by step. But trust me, this story doesn't end here. There's more to come, and it's going to get even more intense. So stick around, because you won't want to miss what happens next. The moment HOA Karen stood frozen in my cabin office. It wasn't just surprise on her face, it was disbelief mixed with something like fear. But to understand why, you've got to know a little more about how all this started. See, this cabin isn't just some random spot for me to work. It's where I've been putting together plans that are bigger than anything most people around here could imagine. It's a place where ideas meet strategy, and where I've been quietly connecting with a 4-star general who's been guiding me through every step. You might wonder why someone like me, just a regular person living in a quiet neighborhood, would be planning anything with a top-ranking military officer. That's exactly what made this situation so strange and dangerous. Our plans aren't about warfare or anything like that. It's about change, about shaking up the system in a way that could impact a lot of people. And it's something that certain folks around here wouldn't want to see happen, not Karen. For sure, Karen, the HOA's self-appointed watchdog, has always been the kind of person who thrives on control. She's the type to call out every little rule break, who monitors every detail like a hawk. But until that day, I never thought she'd be involved in anything beyond parking disputes and grass height measurements. Seeing her like that frozen and speechless showed me that this was different. She wasn't just an annoying neighbor anymore. She was part of a bigger puzzle, one I hadn't fully put together yet. What's more, the tension in the cabin wasn't just between Karen and me. There was a weight hanging in the air, like something bigger was about to explode. Every time I glanced at the plans spread across the table, I felt the pressure building. Karen's sudden arrival wasn't a coincidence. Something had triggered her, and whatever it was, it meant trouble was coming. But for now, All I could do was wait and wonder what her next move would be.